All right, let's dive into equity today. It's this core idea, really, of what part of something you actually own.
Exactly. And to make it really clear, we thought let's use a specific example, something tangible.
Yeah, like farmland. We've mapped out this scenario following 1 acre over, well, quite a few decades.
It really shows how equity can build up. So picture this. It's 1940. You buy 1 acre of farmland. The price is $100.
Okay, $100. Seems simple enough.
But there's a loan. You borrow $60 to make the purchase.
Ah, okay. So not quite outright ownership yet. What does that mean for equity right then, day one?
Right. Your equity is the asset's value minus the debt. So $100 for the land minus the $60 you owe.
Leaves you with 40.
$40. That's your equity. It's your initial slice of ownership in that acre.
Got it. Your starting stake. Okay, so fast forward just 1 year, 1941. What's changed?
Well, you've made a payment on that loan, so you paid $10.
Okay, shipping away at the debt.
Exactly. So the loan balance drops from $60 down to $50.
And the land, is it worth more already?
Not yet in this example. Let's keep it simple for now. The land value is still $100.
Right. So same land value, but less debt. How's the equity calculation look now?
It's changed. Still $100 land value, but now you only subtract $50 for the loan.
Which means $50 in equity.
Yep, $50.
Yeah.
See, your equity went up by $10.
And that $10 increase came purely from paying down the debt.
Precisely. You owe less, so you own more. Simple as that, really.
Makes total sense. Okay, now for the big jump. Let's go all the way to, say, 2025, 85 years later.
Yeah, quite a leap. So over those decades, you've continued paying off that loan. By 2025, it's gone. Zero balance.
Fully paid off. That's great.
But that's not the main story here. The big change is the land value.
Oh. What happened to our $100 acre?
Well, after 85 years, that same acre is now valued at $10,000.
Wow. $10,000 from 100.
It happens. Farmland values have seen some serious appreciation over the long term.
Okay, so $10,000 value and zero debt. The equity must be
A full $10,000. $10,000 value minus zero to debt equals $10,000 in equity.
That is a dramatic shift from the starting $40. Just incredible.
It really is. And it shows the two forces at play.
Right. Let's break that down. Where did that huge growth actually come from? How much was the loan part?
Okay, well, think about the loan first. You started owing $60, and you paid it all off.
So that action, paying the $60, directly added $60 to my equity.
Exactly. If the land value had magically stayed at $100 the whole time, your equity would have just gone from $40 up to $100. That $60 increase is purely debt reduction.
Okay, so $60 of the growth is from paying off the loan, but the total equity is $10,000.
Right. So where did the rest come from? It came from the land value itself increasing?
The appreciation,
The appreciation. The land went from being worth $100 to being worth $10,000. That's a $9,900 increase in value.
And since you own the land, that increase in value is an increase in your equity.
That's it. So $9,900 of the equity growth came from appreciation.
So let me get this straight. The total equity grew by $9,960 from $40 to $10,000. And out of that nearly 10 grand increase, only $60 was from paying debt. The other $9,900 was just the asset becoming more valuable.
The lion's share, by far. It really highlights how powerful asset appreciation can be for building equity over the long run.
So it's a combo effect. Paying down debt steadily increases your ownership stake.
Definitely important, builds a solid base.
But the potential for really significant growth often hinges on the underlying asset actually increasing in value.
That's the key takeaway. Equity grows from both sides. Debt going down, asset value going up. But often the value going up can dwarf the debt reduction part, especially over long periods.
Which really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, seeing how that farmland value exploded in our example, what other kinds of assets out there might have that kind of long-term appreciation potential? And, you know, how does really getting this equity dynamic change how you might look at those investment decisions?
That's the question to ponder, isn't it? Something to chew on.